Welcome to the CarCast. We're going to talk about footwear today, and I think you're going to enjoy it. Let's drive.
Get down.
If you are a frequent rider on the CarCast, you know that I'm a huge fan of Gary Vaynerchuk. If you don't know who he is, I'm tempted to go into an explanation here, but in the interest of our time together, just mentally file that away. You need to figure out who he is. If you do know who he is, then you might know that this week, the end or middle of November of 2017, he launched a branded sneaker through K-Swiss. The way Gary operates is when he has something that he's selling leading up to a launch, if you will, he really starts to bang the drum to ask his audience to support him. Matter of fact, he wrote an entire book about this process called Jab, 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 Right Hook. And I've been fascinated by this particular instance because he sells t-shirts and apparel, things like that, through his personal brand that has his statements, his sayings on it, his signature, things like that. But this is the first foray into a major kind of product connected to his personal brand. I was really fascinated by the execution. So much so, in fact, that I tweeted yesterday, the day of the launch, that I wasn't quite sure. I was on the fence about this. And why and how I know when Gary's really paying attention to something is how he quickly responds to things. He responded almost immediately saying that, hey, this is the great thing about the right hook. I don't really care if it lands or not. And that's absolutely true. But the execution of it is why I wanted to bring it up today. Because regardless of whether or not you like that he's branding his name onto major products like an athlete would. By the way, fascinating in its own right? That's what I find most fascinating. Here's this internet personality treating apparel, or having the opportunity to treat apparel, much the same way an athlete would. That's fascinating, fascinating stuff. Like, there's something deeper that we need to unlock there. But that is for another CarCast. More importantly, the execution is phenomenal because it all leads up to the sale, to making the sale successful. He's got a book coming out soon. I think it's called Crushing It, a sequel to his first book called Crush It. Now's the time to start paying attention to the lead up to that book, because when that book gets closer, he will do literally 8 hours a day of live video streaming, ask you to support and buy the book, and he offers things in exchange. If you buy $1,000 worth of books, you could drive him to the airport or things like that. Now, what does this have to do with anything? Here's what it is. All of it has to have two things in mind. And what I mean by this is the media production, the content, in an effort to increase your awareness and to ultimately get people into the opportunity for you to sell to them. All of it has to be oriented around two things. One is, what is it? What is it that you're all about for the people that you're all about it for? Have a reason for being, a reason why people ought to pay attention. Grab a hold onto that and be consistent and let it permeate everything and every way you communicate. Second, and equally as important, if not more important, we've got to orient it all of this towards that at-bat, the sale. Now, again, I think I mentioned his book, Jab, 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 Right Hook. You should go pick that up because it talks about the nuance of structuring the softer content like this before I actually ask for the sale. But what I love about what Mr. Vaynerchuk does is that he's unabashedly oriented towards driving top-line revenue through sales. Now, I'm sure his operational execution is great as well, okay, but he is completely focused on selling more stuff, and he knows when he needs to pull the trigger and do that. And he's a master, freaking master at manipulating media in a way that's beneficial for his audience, grows that audience, and gives him more at-bats. Awesome stuff. It's awesome. So go pay attention to him. I hope by me sharing this with you, it motivates you to go check it out. And I think, like I said, your business life will be enriched. See you next time. Small little asks are in there too. Not just a sale. But here's what I'd like you to do. Two things today. If you dig this, I want you to tell somebody about it right now. But stop what you're doing. Go tweet a link out to this video. Go tell a friend that they need to check this channel out, okay? And secondly, if you're not subscribed, I'd love for you to subscribe. I'm asking you to subscribe. Will you please subscribe to my YouTube channel? I'd love to have you there. See you next time.